question you get every single day the next couple of weeks, but how's Eddie doing?
Okay. We'll see each day. We take it day by day. Yeah. So today he did some work inside, and so we'll see how he feels after today.
How did this team play differently, or what were you trying to do differently in the games that he wasn't able to play?
I mean, we don't try and change our style too much. I mean, it's a situation every time you play. You try and take advantage of the talents and the abilities that the players on the field have. So, if you're playing with Sammy Ochoa instead of Eddie, Sammy's good with his back to goal. He's good at connecting, back again and running off. He doesn't have that breakaway speed to get behind, so you try and get the ball a little more to Sammy's feet. If you're playing with Estrada, he's busy, he's active, he likes to stretch the defense, so you play him a little bit more into spaces. If it's a Zakawani, you want to get the ball to his feet and isolate him against guys. So, it's the same 4-4-2, but it's the ability of the individual, and you try and take advantage of his skill set.
Real Salt Lake has those two big center backs with Olave and Borchers. How do you think Ochoa will match up against them?
Well, he's played against them before. It all comes down to those guys are, an experienced duo. That's the big thing with Salt Lake is they're a team that's, it's not really a much different team from the team that's been together since 2009, and those guys have played a lot of games together, so there's a good understanding. But if we're busy and active and we play well, if we do what we do well, we'll get our opportunities.
The first 4 years of this franchise has been such a upbeat story for in most ways. Is the failure to advance in playoffs the darkest mark on the resume so far?
I mean, yeah, you certainly want to advance in the playoffs, but there's, again, like I say, there's a lot of other clubs that haven't done that, So I mean, we're holding ourselves to a higher standard, which is what we've wanted to do from day one, But it's like I want to make sure that. We want to advance in the playoffs, okay? Let me say that. That's a big goal for this team, and that's something that we've aimed at and that we want to do and that our full attention is dedicated to at this stage. But on the same token, sometimes I also feel like there's this thing of, we're without that and we're not a good team. I don't think that's entirely an accurate statement either. I think we've shown ourselves to be a consistently good team, and we'll continue to do that. But yes, we need to win a playoff series. We need to move on. That's our next goal. That's our next stage of evolution.
Having played Salt Lake so many times, is there maybe a chance that you over-adjust because you've seen them so much?
No, I don't think so. I mean, I think the games with them have all been very close. Last year in the playoff series were the only times where I thought the games were really, one-sided to a certain extent, where they dominated us at their place and we equally dominated them at our place. Outside of that, the games have always been tight and close. And, they're also a team right now that, they know for their group, that group maybe doesn't have a ton of years together anymore. So, I know they're very anxious and to do well this year, and we are as well. But in terms of over-adjusting or things, I think the teams know each other well enough. They know the strengths and weaknesses, but both teams have an established way that they're going to play, and it really is going to come down to who can do that better.
What do Mark Birch and Leo Gonzalez bring differently to the table?
They're each a little bit different in terms of their playing style. I mean, Leo's a very good one-on-one defender. He's a good not necessarily tackler. He's a guy who always seems to disrupt the offensive play. Gets his foot in, gets a touch in, gets a nick in on the ball. Mark is probably a better crosser, a better passer of the ball. Is positionally somebody who stays, a little bit more. So, they each have their own strengths that way.
How do you think Mark's been doing in the past couple weeks?
I think he's played well. Obviously there was a period of time where he didn't get a lot of games, and but was able to stay fresh with the CONCACAF games, Champions League games, and also a couple of reserve games. And I think he's come on. He's played well.
Do you think you've gotten what you expected to out of him this year?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I think he's been good. We lost Tyson at the beginning of the year, so we're looking for something there. Mark was available. I think he's been a real good fit for our club. Has been a real important player for our team.
Is the team that y'all want to come back with for next season liable to be affected by what happens in the next week or the next month?
Everything affects everything. I mean, there's nothing, that's, what happens in this playoff series affects it. What happened in the regular season affects it. What possibilities are there after the season in terms of trades or movements or, you can never say. The only thing I can say for you for sure is in all my years of coaching that from one year to the next, there's some guys that aren't back. And there's new guys that are here, and some years it ends up being more than others, but even on good teams, you're still turning over 5 to 7 players every year. You look at teams over in Europe. Look at a Man United. Look at a Chelsea, was Champions League winners last year, and how many players did they turn over? So that's just part of the nature of the game.
But I mean, would a quick blow up do anything like time to blow up the core of this team in a way that an MLS Cup run would say, let's give them another year?
I think you have to know why you win. You have to know why you lose. Get knocked out, does that mean you should blow it up? Or winning it, does that mean you should blow it up? Because maybe this was the hurrah. I don't know. That's something you sit down afterwards and you evaluate. But I think it's a situation of we got to evaluate the pieces and how we've done, and continue to do well. But right now our focus is not on that. Our focus is on Salt Lake on Friday.
You talked about how evenly matched you guys were throughout the season. What needs to happen differently to give you guys that little bit of an edge going into the playoffs? As with always in soccer, it's just finishing your opportunities. I think we created some opportunities in a couple of games that we've played them, and we didn't finish those opportunities. And so we just got to make sure that we're good, around the goal, take advantage of set pieces. I think when you get into games like this and playoff series, then corner kicks, free kicks become take on maybe a little bit of a bigger role. So being good on set pieces, being dangerous on those things was very important. Ozzy's played in every single playoff game for you guys since he's been at the Sounders. What sort of experience does he bring, and can he give some of the other guys?
Well, Ozzy's a great competitor, and what Ozzy brings to every game is his ability to compete and battle and fight for the ball. And he's been through playoffs now. All these guys have been through playoff games, so they all know what it's like, what the intensity is like, what the concentration has to be like. And the thing what happens in playoff games, I think for everybody, is everybody concentrates a little more. Everybody's a little more willing to take a few extra steps back to defend. Everybody focuses a little bit more on their defensive responsibilities than they do sometimes in the regular season. That's what makes the games generally a little tighter, and Ozzy will fit into that.
You rooting for rain?
Me? No, I don't care. Rain or sunshine, doesn't matter. Just no snow. No snow, no wind. That's all we want.
Give your full 90 with the Sounders FC mobile app, featuring live audio, matchday blog and much more to keep you connected. Download your app at soundersfc.com/mobile.